really, I want you to understand the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is this. Don't be snookered by Satan. How many of you have ever been snookered by somebody? Right? Okay? Don't be snookered by Satan. I want you to see there's 4 attacks that they give. I'm just going to touch on them really quick. Number 1, Satan loves letters. Satan loves letters. You know how many hate letters I get? It's insane. Nothing much has changed. Anyways, these letters came from Tobiah, Sanballat, and said, oh, come, let us meet together. You're a leader, we're a leader, and you need to, talk with us. And you know how he responds? I'm doing a great work for God here. I'm not coming down. I'm not stopping. No, you guys go do your thing. We're going to stay focused on the mission of God. This is really important. Godly leadership knows how to focus on what needs to be done and doesn't get caught in the fray and moved away. 4 times they send these letters, and I can tell you, the naive were saying, if you would just go talk to them, maybe we could make friends with them, and then we could all just live in peace, and we wouldn't have to worry about building the walls, and after all, we could just negotiate with them. Is this still happening in Israel today? Yeah. Nothing has, and it happens in churches. 35 years, I give you tons of illustrations. The next thing you'll notice, Satan loves open letters. Well, the private letters, the private emails, the private messaging is not working. They're not getting enough pressure that way. So we're going to have an open letter. And in this open letter, he says, look, this is the open letter to all of you Jews. We want you to understand we know what's happening. You, Nehemiah, and you Jews are planning to rebel. And you, Nehemiah, you want to be king. And you've hired prophets to say, there's a king in Israel. His name's Nehemiah. And and now it will be reported to the king of Persia. Now, if you know anything about that time, there were 2 great rebellions during the time of the king of Persia at this time. Everybody lost their head. Everybody lost their head. So it's an open letter. Think about it this way. Revived Church, we know about all of you. You guys are just lawless, rebellious, and doing evil, and we're going to tell the governor, and the governor's going to send the National Guard, and all of you are going to lose your head. That's what he's saying. All right, I'm just trying to translate it for you. And so they say, come now, let us counsel. You come right now, otherwise we're sending this letter to the king, you're going to lose your head. And you know what he says in the next verse? No, you guys are making up a bunch of fables. This is vain speculation. I have come here under the orders of the king to rebuild this wall, and I will not stop for you. And Nehemiah just keeps building. I love this guy. All right. Third thing. Well, now what Tobiah, Sanballat do, they hire some people that are in the inside with Nehemiah. This guy's got a priestly influence. And he goes to Nehemiah and says, look, they're going to come and kill you. So what you got to do is you got to go into hiding right now. And you're going to go, let's just go into the temple because that's safe in there. We'll close all the doors and you can just hide out in there. Like a bird in a cage. I love this guy. You know what he says? It says he realized that this wasn't from God, and he realized that this guy had been paid off. And so what's his response? Should a man like me flee? No, God's called me here to lead. God's called me here to get this done. I'm not going into hiding. Should one such as I go into the temple and save his life? What did Jesus say? If you're going to find your life, you need to lose your life. Remember we just sang that song just a second ago. Let kindred and life go. That's just, I will not go in. No, I'm going to keep on building. We're not going into hiding. Do you remember, we just sang, A Mighty Fortress is Our God. So Martin Luther trusted Christ. The Catholic Church is trying to kill him. And so he ends up running for his life. He ends up hiding in a castle. And he comes under great conviction. I'm here hiding, and this is impeding the advancement of the gospel. And so he writes that song, A Mighty Fortress is Our God. I don't know if he was reading this passage, but that's exactly what's happening here in this text. It's amazing. There's a third thing that ends up happening, and that Satan just loves conflict. And so what he does is he has business arrangements with the nobles of Judah. In other words, the leadership, the local leadership of Jews that are there. And not only that, some of them have married into their families, trying to make these alliances. Now, these are Amorites. How many of you remember they weren't supposed to marry foreign women? Do you remember that? And so they've married these ladies so that they can have trading rights and all these sorts of things. Right? It's the same old thing, right? And here's the crazy thing. These guys are sending letters to Tobiah, who's an Amorite, who's constantly against the building of the walls, constantly against Nehemiah, constantly against Jewish people. And so they're sending, hey, Nehemiah's doing this now. And they're sending their emails. And then whenever they see Nehemiah, they say, Tobiah is not such a bad guy after all. If you really got to know him like we know him, I mean, he's really a good guy. Can I just tell you, 35 years of pastor, and this is exactly what happens. I can't tell you how many people who are naive or had other motivation come and say how evil people are good. Friends, there's the wise and there's the evil, and we got to be careful that we're not naive. I'm just telling you, some things never change. Don't be snookered by Satan. Turn to someone, don't be snookered. Go ahead, tell them one more time. Don't be snookered. Don't be snookered.